Hi, I'm Noah, and today I'm wasting $300 Canadian on a quarter-life crisis. I've always wanted a hovercraft ever since I was a little kid, so recently I thought, screw it, and bought 2 leaf blowers for $180 on Amazon. Now these are serious pieces of equipment not meant to be fooled around with. So, spoiler alert, I've actually already built the hovercraft and I'm filming this whole thing out of sequence. It's actually in frame right now, but I've blurred it out because you have to watch till the end of the video to get your gratification and give me those sweet, sweet watch hours. Anyway, so basically how hovercraft works is you have a downward intake fan pushing air into a skirt, which creates a pressure chamber, which should lift the hovercraft a couple millimeters off the ground. In this case, we're going to actually be using an inflated skirt with a tarp. And basically, the leaf blower is going to inflate the tarp like a little bounce house, and then it's going to have some holes in it that it'll blow the air out of and hold the hovercraft up on a pressurized little cloud of air. And the idea is that this should lift it just enough above the ground to get us completely frictionless, and that should allow our second leaf blower to provide some thrust and push us along. Now, you might be sitting there saying to yourself, there is no way this is going to work. Those leaf blowers are so underpowered and it's just not going to work. Well, I think it's going to work. So I guess you can just watch and see and find out. Anyways, that's the intro done. Over to you, outside Noah from the past. Thanks, indoor Noah. So, let's get started. So I picked up this old wooden billboard for 20 bucks, used. And this is going to form the basis of our hoverboard, that is made of plywood. I think it's for a crystal healing company, but I'm not really sure. Feel free to go to
Autorongo.ca to find out more if you really are that curious.
So I'm going to start by removing this. Okay, so now that that is removed, I'm just going to plan out this hovercraft and see exactly how I want it to be. So this board, I believe, is 3 feet wide. Yes, I know I'm using heathen units, but unfortunately that's just how I measure lumber here. So I want to be able to sit on it roughly like this and put the front intake here.
And the back intake needs some space behind me, so I'm thinking that probably about that. That's a good length for the hovercraft.
The width, I think this existing width works, and then I'm going to have a center console with controls on top of the front intake. And then I'm probably going to have to figure out some sort of seat situation here.
About 3 feet by 5 feet,
roughly. Let's see.
Okay, well I'm 5 feet and a bit, so this is like a bit. So 5 feet is like here, and then that's like a little more, so it's like 4'10".
This is how you use imperial units, right? That's our measurement. Let's mark it out and cut it.
What happened?
I don't know what happened.
Look at that! I cut the wood perfectly. The camera just cut out, so it worked. It worked really well. Anyone who has questions about that, just shut up. Serious piece of equipment. I 3D printed this duct here, and this should transition the leaf blower's thrust from forward to downward. Intakes are going to have to be from the side, which is a little bit weird, but it'll work. Alright, so I have here a hole saw. Big hole. Hole. Now that the wooden frame is done, it's time to do the skirt. And by skirt, I mean inflatable plastic bag on the bottom of the hovercraft. And what this is going to do is it's going to cinch the skirt down so that it pinches it in the middle and we have essentially a donut around the outside. This is Hovercraft with completed skirt test number 1. I have a feeling it's not going to work, but I think we might see some promising results, so I'm going to give it a try. that actually sort of worked. That actually legitimately sort of worked. Oh, we got a hovercraft. Oh, I've got a hovercraft. Oh, I've got a hovercraft. Woohoo! Alright, so I've cut more skirt holes. And let's test this thing again. See how she does. This is a hovercraft. Alright, so it's a new day, and we are back in the concrete pad workshop hovercraft building center. So yesterday we had a successful test where it actually hovered. Then I tested it on the road and I damaged the skirt a little bit, but I patched it, so it should be okay, hopefully. So then today I'm going to strap in the leaf blowers more permanently and attach the thrust leaf blower, as I did not do that yesterday. So let's get started. I went to the store this morning and I picked up a Lazy Susan for my rear steering, some steel strapping and some screws, so that's another 20 bucks wasted on this project. So now really the only thing we need to get done is the electronics and control systems. So the plan is fairly simple. I want a dashboard here with a switch for this. I want a switch for this, and I'm gonna have a steering rope actually. And that should control this guy and allow me to steer it without any sort of digital circuitry. So let's get started. And here we are, the next morning. I didn't end up filming me doing the electronics because it was kind of frustrating. But I got all the soldering done. I've hooked up wires to the triggers of both of these leaf blowers and put them on the dashboard here. So now I can go like this. Of all my inventions, this one's probably a bit too big for the coffee table. It is somewhat large, but I absolutely love it. This thing is awesome. I love it. It hovers, it works, it's really great and really cool. I haven't tested it yet, but I wanted to get that first test on camera, so I'm not 100% sure that everything fully works, but I know the hovering motors work, so that's kind of the most important bit. Overall, I'm really proud of this thing. It is so awesome. It's just like exactly what I wanted when I was a child and I learned that hovercrafts were a thing. I wanted a personal one, and now I've got one, and it's a hovercraft that I can sit on, and it's just so cool. But as you can see, I can sit on the thing. I've got my dashboard in front of me. It fits a human on board. I really don't know what else to say about it. This thing's awesome and really great and spectacular and perfect in every way. So now all that's left to do is to clean up the few rough edges that remain, make the thing look spick and span, and give it a test. So that is going to happen in the next video. This is going to be a two-parter, mainly just because I feel like it's been a lot of work and a lot of money wasted on this. So I may as well get 2 videos out of it instead of 1. Although I don't make any money off these videos, so it really doesn't matter. So that's what I'm going to do. If you like this video and want to see the next one, maybe subscribe for that. Till then, have a great day and thank you so much for watching.